Good day. As a teenage girl, I'm naturally inclined to be a John Green fan, of course. I actually think it's written in a large parchment scroll in a mall somewhere, containing a list of things us teenage girls love most, along with heart eye emojis and Instagramming our food. But Green has gotten some crap lately for his writing, particularly for what some call the romanticism of cancer and his use of the manic pixie dream girl. Despite that, he's still among the most critically acclaimed young adult authors of our time. Most of the time, when people discuss John Green's writings as a whole, they cite The Fault in Our Stars, which is far and away his most famous book. But I personally think his 2006 novel, An Abundance of Katherines, is actually much more representative of his work in general. Actually, when looking at the main trends I've noticed in John Green novels, The Fault in Our Stars actually seems to be an outlier in this regard. But to start, a quick summary of An Abundance of Katherines, because it is my favorite John Green book, and personally deserves a bit more recognition. So, Colin Singleton is a child prodigy who is going through a midlife crisis at 17 because he feels he isn't smart anymore, and also his girlfriend Catherine just dumped him. Not only that, but she's the 19th Catherine to do so. Yeah, he only dates girls named Catherine. It's weird. So, he goes on a long road trip with his bestie Hassan to find himself. Meanwhile, he continues to search for his breakthrough to make him a genius by creating a math formula to determine the course of a relationship, and it's all very confusing, but kind of cool, I guess. Also, the South is featured prominently. Also footnotes. Every footnote. All of them. Now, to look at John Green's writing tropes. So, John Green has written 4.5 books. Looking for Alaska, An Abundance of Katherines, Paper Towns, and The Fault in Our Stars on his own, and Will Grayson with David Levithan. Looking at them as a body of work, several key tropes become very prominent. John Green likes to write books about smart people who think a lot. An Abundance of Katherines has more of the smart aspect, and The Fault in Our Stars is all about that thinking. And there's a lot of thinking. Even the book cover is a couple of thought bubbles. But many times in his work, that intelligence and thought simply takes the form of massive character quirks. Colin is obsessed with being a genius, and also footnotes, and Augustus uses cigarettes as a metaphor, for example. But in The Fault in Our Stars, the oddities of each character are viewed less as quirks due to the intense subject matter. Looking for Alaska is a pretty intense book too, but only in the second half, so the characters have ample time to go full quirk. But the Fault in Our Stars becomes too real for that once they mention cancer, which is on the first page. In terms of other, less broad tropes, all books but The Fault in Our Stars have a male protagonist. In, again, all but The Fault in Our Stars, there is a major unrequited love the protagonist has for a girl. In Katherine's, Colin feels this for Catherine number 19, although the feeling fades by the end of the book. Other major tropes, such as manic pixie dream girls and road trips, are featured in both Katherine's and The Fault in Our Stars, as well as all of the other ones. However, the real difference between the two comes in audience reception. According to Goodreads ratings, The Fault in Our Stars is Green's best received book, while An Abundance of Katherines is his worst. An Abundance of Katherines has 3.7 out of 5 stars, and the majority of 2-star ratings have the same common complaints. Colin is whiny, and the book is boring. And the quirks are just a tad too quirky. The Fault in Our Stars has 4.3 out of 5 stars, yet the most common complaints from the few negative reviews cite the book's massive pretentiousness, which is definitely there, and also the fact that teenagers absolutely do not talk like that. But more than that, for most of them, it seems that The Fault in Our Stars simply did not live up to the massive hype surrounding it when it came out, which was everywhere, if you can recall. But the fact remains the same, that typically, John Green's sad books are better received than his quirkier ones. Yet, The Fault in Our Stars is the very book most criticized when people talk about his portrayal of disease. Personally, while I've enjoyed all of his books, I like John Green more when he's less serious and more sincere. One can be funny and lighthearted, yet still sincere. It's the main word I would use to describe Green, both as an author and as a person. His lighter, humor-based books just work more for me, and I feel like I know why. While he's now most famous for his literary works, John Green actually got his start on YouTube by running the channel Vlogbrothers with his brother Hank. John himself is very smart, a self-proclaimed nerd. He also runs the show Crash Course, which gives clever, condensed lessons in history, science, and other academic subjects. John himself is a funny guy. He isn't incredibly philosophical or melancholy as a person. He's more of a quirky guy. That's why his more lighthearted stories, such as An Abundance of Katherines, better reflect his works as a whole, because it better reflects his personality. Now, of course, an author can write about subjects and emotions he or she has little experience with, but it always comes across as more genuine and engaging if the author himself has more of a connection to the work in terms of tone and personality. Is The Fault in Our Stars objectively John Green's best book? Probably, but it is merely an outlier in the realm of John Green's works as a whole, whereas An Abundance of Katherines, while not the best crafted story out there, is the epitome of what makes a John Green book a John Green book. Thank you for watching, and if you want to follow me on Tumblr or Twitter, the links are in the description below. Have a nice day.